This is ANN News Brief.
UN envoy to Libya, Ghassan Salame, has called on the United Nations to remain in Libya following a bombing in August that killed 3 staff members and injured 2 persons. Salame prayed for their speedy recovery on Wednesday when addressing the Security Council and urged the Libyan authorities to cooperate with the UN investigation into the incident to swiftly bring the perpetrators to justice. Salame said since the offensive launched in April by the East-based army led by General Khalifa Haftar, the conflict has spread geographically and affected civilians. Salame also expressed his disappointment over the abduction of House of Representatives member Siham Sagiwa, who has since not been found.
The United Nations will remain in Libya. Naturally, we will work to mitigate further the risk to our personnel and operations. But the tragic irony is that the worse the situation on the ground becomes, the greater the need for our presence, mediation efforts, and provision of humanitarian assistance.
UN data show more than 100 civilians have been killed, over 300 injured, and 120,000 civilians have been displaced. He added that the situation in the southern town of Mazouk continues to be grave, with over 100 people killed in fighting between Tebo and Ahali communities. A senior official of the African Union AU Commission has praised Africa-China cooperation when meeting a delegation from China's National Food and Strategic Reserve Administration in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia on Wednesday. A memorandum of understanding was signed during the meeting to have robust collaboration in food safety and security on the African continent. Carter Thomas Kwesi, Deputy Director of the AU Commission, said China has offered assistance to Africa that is of great importance to Africa.
The rise of China, the closeness and the selfless cooperation that we have enjoyed from China has provided us in Africa greater strategic options. Our cooperation with China is exemplary, and we have no doubt in our minds that this cooperation can only grow from strength to strength.
We are on the road every day, canvassing throughout Africa for news you really need. We follow the story everywhere, from every corner of Nigeria to the wide African expanse. We bring you what's making headlines. We connect you with news you can use. ANN, African News Network, in a truly African spirit.
A popular radio station in Zambia has said it will no longer play South African music in protest against the xenophobic attacks that have been taking place in South Africa. Hot FM says it will cease to play music by South African artists on its airwaves until further notice. It added that all African nations, whether frontline state or not, stood by South African kindred during their time of need in fight against apartheid. Hot FM says South Africa's now governing African National Congress, ANC, was based in Zambia. On Wednesday, several shopping centers in Zambia's capital, Lusaka, were closed as students took to the streets to protest against violence in South Africa. The Football Association has also cancelled a friendly match against South Africa that was due to take place this weekend. That is the ANN News Brief. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website, annafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. I'm Lucy Ademi.